Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be another virtual bike ride. Julie and I are on the Tandem, and we're going to bike from Thayne Elementary, head up to Bedford, up Strawberry Canyon, hopefully. We're going to head over to Turnerville, back through Bedford, and loop back to the elementary school. So come along with us today and enjoy. This is Lincoln County Road 122. Heads up towards Star Valley Ranch. We're not going that way today. If we look off towards the mountain just to the front of us, we can see the obvious canyon entrance, and that is Strawberry Canyon. That's our objective today. Far back. It's road 122 heading just out of Thayne. It's a gradual uphill. Not particularly steep, but it's just enough that you're going to be moving a little slower than on the flats. Star Valley, as a general rule, is a great place to ride, but the county roads, they really don't have a marked shoulder, and at times it can be pretty busy. And even though the speeds on these secondary roads are pretty slow, you always have to be on your guard. You just never know when somebody's not going to be paying attention. We don't normally see very many bikers on these secondary roads, and that has its disadvantages. And if you're a person who bikes on a busy road and there's a lot of bikers, most of the drivers are aware that they're bikers. They tend to be a little more cautious. But out here on these county roads where there are very few bikers, a lot of the drivers may not anticipate it, so you really have to be on your guard. And that means checking your mirrors, making sure if somebody's coming up behind you, you're going to give you a little bit of leeway. Julie and I have had a couple close calls here in Star Valley, and actually been run off the road once. So it's there are definitely a few riders. There definitely are a few drivers around here that would just as soon there not be anybody biking on the roads. But for the most part, people are friendly. Look out this hawk right here. Cool. I don't think it was injured by a car. What's actually happening right now is the young for this year are being kicked out on their own. They don't quite know where to go or what to do. We had one in our backyard yesterday. Just a strange behavior. They seem like they're lost. Our back. And I'm betting that's exactly what we got there. It's a perfect example of a blind corner. We went off the road slightly. Luckily, we had a place to go there. While I'm on the topic of bike safety, bicycling definitely is dangerous. And if you've been biking for any great length of time, you've undoubtedly had a crash or had a close call. Hopefully you came through it okay. I've known so many people that have been badly injured riding their bicycles. One of our neighbors many years ago was very badly injured, and she had to give up biking altogether. And I don't think you could get her on a bicycle for the life of me now. Although I have to admit, we did get her out on one of our folders about 10 years ago up on the bike trail in Teton National Park. But on that same topic, if you watch the last video that I posted, and you stuck with it to the very end, the very last frame shows me falling off my bike. And that's an accident that happened to me about 3 weeks ago. And I got tossed out of my bike, had a really hard landing, and I think I fractured some ribs, but pretty much put me out of commission for 3 weeks. And I'm still in the recovery phase. I'm able to bike and do some walks, but it's just going to be a long road to recovery. But I'm thankful it wasn't any worse than that. It certainly could have been worse. Just last week, one of our friends had a horrible encounter with a car, tossed off the bike. She's currently in the hospital and I'm scheduled for surgery on Monday. I don't know all the details, but it was a bicycle car interaction, and sometimes that can be absolutely the worst. If you have any good karma you can send her way, and both I and her would definitely appreciate that. Okay, we're just continuing on 22. We made a hard right and we're heading towards Bedford. That's how you get somebody's attention about the speed limit, huh? Well, this is a small town of Bedford, Wyoming. It was first settled in 1888 and has had a post office ever since 1898. According to Wikipedia, it was named after Bedford, Virginia, and this is just one of several small communities that are located in Star Valley. Stop sign here. Both ways, looks great. This is a fun road to ride. It'll take you up into the Bridger National Forest, up to the Strawberry Creek hydro plant. That's where the pavement ends. There certainly is a dirt road which eventually turns into a kind of a four-wheel drive road and heads on up to a wonderful trailhead. Some really great hikes from there. I'll put a link down below for a hike that Julie and I did a few years ago. The ride from here up to the power plant is uphill. but not steep uphill. But it is fun coming back out. Up in front is the Salt River Range, and you've heard me make reference to them many times when I've been out skiing. They're pretty cool. They don't really see a whole lot of recreational use in the summer, but in the fall when hunting season hits, it is a popular spot. Definitely. One of the problems that you have as a cross-country skier or as a hiker in the Salt River Range is access. Access is limited. The range is pretty long, but as you might imagine, all along especially on the west side of the Salt River Range, people have private property that butt up to the forest. And so when you look at a hillside like this and think, wow, it'd be great to get up there and ski those slopes, you more than likely run into no trespassing signs and people who aren't too keen on people crossing their property and to get access to their forest. They have a few designated places. The Forest Service has a few places where you can access. There's a few off of Star Valley Ranch. The Strawberry Canyon is another one. And they're sort of spaced up and down the Salt River Range. The problem in the wintertime is the county tends not to plow any access to them. There's no place to pull off. So some of those access points aren't usable in the wintertime unless you can get somebody to drop you off and come back and pick you up. I really don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but this west slope of the Salt River Range tends to be pretty steep, and most of the terrain itself, unless you're skiing up a canyon, is probably too steep for most cross-country skiers. It can be fun and challenging on a good downhill setup if you can get access. But if you want to come to the area and cross-country ski, there's plenty of good terrain for cross-country skiing as well. One of the things that's kind of unique about this area, and biking, especially road biking, has to do with the county roads. Probably hard to tell from the camera, but it may look like pavement to you, but this is actually what they call chip coat. And these roads have never been paved with a paving machine. They obviously started out as an improved dirt road, and they lay a bunch of tar down and just essentially pour gravel over the top of it. And they roll it down with a roller, and then they let people drive on it with their cars. And in the August, the daytime temperatures and the roads get pretty warm, and the cars just pack it down, and it makes a pavement-like surface. And obviously, earlier in the summer you are, the more it's like a gravel road. And the later you ride it in the summer, the more it feels like a paved road. They don't chip coat every county road every year. It's been my experience. They do them about once every 3 years. And they don't do every road in the county. They kind of probably do a third each year. So if you come to ride these roads and you find out that they just freshly chip coated it, you might have to pick an alternate route. Especially if you're on a road bike. When Julie and I are out riding these roads, we just enjoy seeing everything. Everything from the flowers that people are growing to the homes that they're building to the amazing scenery. Just a little bit of everything for everybody. Okay, a sign right here, Bridger National Forest. This is one of my favorite parts of the ride. We're essentially following the creek up, so while it's not particularly steep, it is uphill. We just gotta chug along. We normally take a break, get some water at the hydro plant, and then when we hop on the bicycle, we'll come back down. It's a great downhill ride. Crossing over Strawberry Creek here. Fireweed is blooming away. Fireweed has a very different meaning for me than it does for a lot of people. Spent a lot of years in Alaska. And fireweed is the indicator plant for how many days of summer you have left. In case you don't know, in Alaska, when the fireweed starts blooming at the bottom, it's almost like a gauge as it works its way towards the top. Summer is coming to a close. By the time the fireweed is bloomed out and it turns to seed in most areas, that means that fall is definitely in the air. And certainly for some areas, winter is not too far ahead. So definitely in the climb mode at this point. Speed is dropped to 6 miles an hour and my heart rate is 150. Okay, here's where the pavement ends. We got a little hydroelectric plant here where they capture energy for Star Valley. We're going to stop here for a minute or two. Leaning to the left. And the house,
So noisy.
the house here is a dam keeper. Julie, if you hold on to the bike, I'll walk over here a little bit and show them the creek. Take some water and get a snack if you need it. Ready, Julie? Leave the coat on, I guess. Ready? Okay. We need to get it in a big ring. Car, Julie, a couple of them. Here comes some people on some e-bikes. We'll definitely give them a big wave. Say hello to YouTube. These virtual tours, I've been trying to keep them right at 1 hour. I mean, obviously Julie and I are going for a longer ride than that, but that's just about the length of the battery on my camera. And I think 1 hour is a really good time frame for most people who are doing indoor cycling. It gives you enough time to warm up and then do a good hard workout, and then obviously cool down. Some of you maybe not familiar with tandems. It's a great way to tour, especially on a road like today. And Julie and I can visit, and we don't have to bike side by side. I think it's safer from that perspective. But they can be a chore going uphill. At least ours is. And you may wonder, well, why is that? Well, we have an old vintage tandem from the early 80s. And it's got a steel frame and it's pretty darn heavy. A lot heavier than two bikes. Two lightweight carbon bikes. Carbon road bikes are so lightweight these days. We're probably easily the weight of three carbon bikes. But that's okay. I know if you're interested in tandem riding, a new generation tandem bike probably be a lot more efficient and lighter.
There was once a day that I would pray for you. I'd go and misbehave just so you'd notice too. Sneaking looks up and down from across the room. Damn, what a hell of a view. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall. Praying that this night's gonna last. You got it all on tap, I'm loving your vibe, always have your back. We like all the same tracks, listen all night in the sheets all black. Said I'm falling fast, don't remember life before you, that's fact. I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place. I feel my heart erase, so catch me if I fall.
Dog. No. Did you try your thing?
No. Couldn't get out of that quick.
Speaking of dogs, dogs can be a problem. I actually carry a squirt bottle, and sometimes that can be effective. Julie has another product called Halt. If she has it with her, I'll show you what it looks like. She pulls it out. It's a a pepper spray, and if you've ever seen postal carriers, I think they carry a similar product. That one seemed like it wanted to keep its distance from us. But if you have one that's like 5 feet away, and they're looks like they're about ready to bite you, that's sort of the last ditch resort. We also have an ultrasonic device, and I think lots of them. This one is the Dazer 2, and it puts out a high frequency sound, a loud high frequency sound. The dog has to be pretty darn close to you for it to be effective. We found that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. this is our turnaround spot. We're going to head back to Bedford and then on to Thayne. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, be sure to give me a thumbs up. Until next time, be safe, be kind. I hope to see you out on the trail sometime.